Hello, it is topical Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Steve Sipress here, and help. The banks are failing. Is my money safe? Is my bank going under? Are all small banks going to be gone and only the big four banks are going to have everybody's money? And on and on and on. The panic is setting in, and people are acting surprised as if, like, you couldn't tell this has been in the works for over 2 years, right? We've had the economy decimated and rampant inflation, and therefore the interest rates had to be hiked, and that killed all kinds of industries. And growth is anemic, if any, in the country. I mean, they redefined the term recession. And I think that's one of the problems is people have been snowed over and brainwashed to believe we are actually not in recession, where, of course, the economy has sucked and there are major problems going on for years. And so now you're seeing a result. Companies, not just banks, but companies that just do the wrong things and don't do enough of the right things are in trouble. Not only will not grow through this tough time to be there when things turn around in, I don't know, a year, 2, 3 years maybe, but some of them are going under, including banks, which are supposedly protected and overseen, and all the accounts are insured and overseen. Well, here's a few things. So, number one, this bank, just by the location of it, Silicon Valley, doesn't take a genius to understand that this is a woke, social justice focused bank and all that BS, which is fine. You can do lots of BS if you are everything is great, but when times are tough, you may want to pay attention. I believe you pay attention all the time to what matters is running a sound business that makes money. And then if you want to do charitable work with all the fantastic profits you're making, fine. But if you make it a business plan that you care more about whatever causes you think are important to you than the bottom line of the business, guess what? As you can see in these banks and lots of other businesses, and we're just getting started, there'll be no bottom line. The business will be gone. Banks are no different. So I received an email today from my bank. I was talking to one of my clients about a week ago, was complaining about one of the big four banks. And I was like, yeah, my beautiful wife, Michelle, it sounds so familiar. We had those issues with the big impersonal bank years ago, and we vowed never again are we going to deal with a big bank. And ever since then, we banked with small, regional, local banks where we know the people and they know us, and we get attention and we don't get shuffled around to ridiculous customer service people no one ever heard of. And they care about us a lot more than they would at a big four bank. We're not a Fortune 500 company, so we get a lot of personal attention and care. And yet, it is a small regional bank, and as such, not seen as important by big government, which loves big business and dislikes small business. So all small business owners, we know, are always crapped on. It became crystal clear. I believe we were never more crapped on than during the 2, 3 years of all the shutdowns and lockdowns and all the BS with, all you ma and pa hardware stores got to be closed, but Home Depot, yeah, record profits, and on and on and on in all kinds of different industries. So we saw how small businesses get the shaft and big businesses are beloved by big government. They collude together to act against the interests of the people. And many of the people are business owners. Certainly, if you're watching this, it's likely that you are. Well, if you think the government is going to help you with anything, good luck. I mean, maybe they will. But if you plan on it, you're in trouble. So here's a few things you can do. Number one, woke causes and social this and whatever charities and causes you think are great, they're great. Do that with your profits. Do not make that the basis of your business. I see all the time, do good and make money. Like, I've never gone for that crap. Total BS. Like, of course, we do good by our clients, by our employees, by our suppliers, by our community. We do good, but it doesn't mean we, as a basis of business, we're going to concentrate on areas that means we're losing concentration on areas that matter. And in tough times, as you can see from these couple of banks and more and lots of other businesses going under, you really got to concentrate on the basics. And then If you have something left over, go do good and all that kind of good stuff. Second of all, well, I guess there's the saying, you go woke, you go broke. You're going to see a lot of that. Again, I'm all for all your personal causes and your feelings and all that kind of stuff, but that's very different than the bottom line of the business. I help businesses make money. I'm an expert in the client, customer, patient getting area of the business. How you run the business, up to you. What you do with your revenue and your profits, up to you. But I help you get more clients, customers, patients, members, and get more sales and repeat business and referrals from them. I help you bring in the revenue. I can only suggest what you do with it. Hopefully you are a good steward of it and you concentrate on that area of the business, especially now during a tough economy, a recession, a down economy, a challenging time, a troubled and inflationary time, whatever you want to call it. This is not a boom time, happy-go-lucky, everything is fantastic, hunky-dory. What do we do with all the cash that's flying all over the place? Now, of course, the experts will tell you that when times are booming, you should also be very careful with everything. But certainly during down times, everyone knows, hopefully, you got to be careful with things. In this Silicon Valley Bank and lots of other businesses are just not paying attention to the right things. So pay attention to revenue and profit in your business. Do not focus on all the social justice causes, woke, this, that, charities, whatever you want to do. That's all good and fine and dandy. But if it's going to cause trouble in the business, it's not much of a choice, is there? You cannot do good. You cannot give charitable contributions. You cannot help people out if you don't help yourself first, if you don't keep the business going and profitable. And in a down economy, I'm pretty sure most business owners know, is tremendous opportunity for growth. When things are booming and there's money flying around, everyone's kind of equal in the client getting areas. But when the business is tough, man, there are aggressive steps you can take now to scoop up all kinds of revenue and profit and business for yourself, while lots of your competitors or other businesses like yours are sitting around, hunkering down, waiting till it blows over, or they made a lot of mistakes during the boom time and didn't save money and they're cash poor and they just cannot take advantage of opportunities and they just have to cut their advertising and their marketing, which is, of course, the last thing and you should ever cut, which means you should never cut it, because then again, the business is in deep trouble. This is when you want to cut expenses, go ahead, cut out some expenses, cut out some perks, and stop buying lunches and flying all over the place to see clients, see them on Zoom and stuff. Turn the electricity down a little bit for the air conditioning or the heat or whatever's going on. But marketing and advertising, not only you don't cut it in a down economy, you ramp it up, not only to survive, but to take all the opportunity that's out there from the business owners who don't know any better. Maybe this is their first recession they've been through and they don't understand things. I've been through a whole bunch. I started my first multi-million dollar business during the Jimmy Carter days and the early 80s, where interest rates were, I think mortgage rates were like 18, 21%, whatever. Things were crazy back then. And so I've been through that one, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and this one, and I'll be through the next one and the next one, because I'm going to take the right steps. I'm going to help my clients take the right steps. So another thing is, just in case there's some kind of trouble with banks, you should never have all your eggs in one basket. I mean, I think we all heard that saying when we were little kids. So if you have multiple, now we got burnt, so I can just tell you, I didn't take the advice I'm giving right now with our personal funds. My beautiful wife, Michelle, and I had our retirement stolen by a financial advisor who is now in prison and likely for life in prison for running a Ponzi scheme and ripping off millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from all kinds of clients. So there went basically all of our retirement savings. I had all the eggs in one basket. But I learned the lesson there, speaking to other financial advisors, and just realizing, think about it, maybe the government should mandate, they have this limit on FDIC, federally insured funds that you deposit in a bank of $250,000. So if you have $1 million to put in the bank, it behooves you to put it in 4 different banks. in 4 different accounts, not just 4 different accounts in one bank, 4 different banks. So you have the maximum 250. Now, if you have like $50 million, big companies, I guess they can't really realistically put it in 500 different banks. So they have different issues. But as small business owners, you may want to right now, if you're worried at all about anything with banks or your local bank or any bank that might be in trouble, you might want to just split it up into 5 different banks. Just take 80% out of one bank and put 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, or 33, 33, 33, or a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, or something. But divide it up into different banks so you have some stability in case something goes wrong. And certainly a bank like this Silicon Valley Bank, which is heavily invested in one sector, in one area, in startups, in tech. Tech has been in trouble. It's been the leading troubled sector that I've seen as far as layoffs. All these big tech companies doing layoffs during these recessionary times. So a bank that's catering to startups in the tech world, might be some trouble there. I might not want to put my funds in there, right? So this email I got from our bank today is how they are so diverse, and there's no crypto, and we don't do this, and our loan ratio is low, and we have no more than 6% of funds in any one of the 13 different sectors of the economy, or whatever, on and on. My eyes glazed over. I'm like, but you know what? It's time perhaps to split up your funds for your business into several different accounts. Is that more trouble? Is that more headache? Right now, a day before the corporate tax deadline, of course, that's on our mind, but that's why you have accountants. Let them deal with all that, and I'd rather pay accountants to deal with the little complexity of my banking than to watch my money evaporate or be in a panic about whether it will, or to lose any sleep over it at all. So that's one rule, is take care of your finances. A bank is like any other business. Yes, they're not too big to fail. Yeah, they do come and they do go. They go out of business, right? And so during these recessionary times, these tough times we're in, companies will go out of business. Could include banks. You understand that the second you deposit money in a bank, it's not there anymore. They loan out like 90% of their deposits, right? So if you deposit $1,000 one day and you come back the next day, there's 100 of it left. So of course, if everyone, or even a number of people or companies say, like, I want my money out, they don't have it. It's all over the place. And if it's leveraged and invested in the wrong places, they're in trouble. So you might want to take some precaution and spread your funds around. Second of all, you might want to pay attention and realize that banks go out of business, restaurants go out of business, attorneys go out of business, dentists go out of business. Even though those are professional practices, a dental practice, a law firm, those are businesses, and businesses come and businesses go. You've got to do the right things. You got to avoid the wrong things, especially when times are tough, when money is tight, when it's a down economy, like right now. And if you want help with this, as always, you can get on my calendar by going to helpfromsteve.com, and we'll have a brief talk, and I hopefully can point you in the right direction, some resources that'll help you out. Otherwise, get some expert advice from somewhere else, and I'll be with you, God willing, again every single day here, as I've done for coming up on a 6-year anniversary, just around the corner, of doing a Facebook Live video every single day. So I thank you for being with me today and any other times over the last 6 years you've been here, and I will be back again tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday with some tips dealing with the World Wide Web. Go figure. Catch you then. Bye-bye.